SPX viewers. We're here with Rusty and Joe. It's Kelly and Claire all over again, and we're going to talk for 25 minutes.
SPX 28 time.
28
Dirty Diamonds interview with the famous Joe and Rusty.
You're going to have to change the logo for this one.
This is excellent.
It's going to be us.
So, Rusty, what brings you to SPX?
I just want to hang out.
You should have said this interview.
No, not this interview.
Oh, no.
No.
Our bar is so low already. We're
Well,
doing great.
You know, maybe it'll change my mind afterwards, but right now.
Right now, it's not
Just
this.
to hang out. Just to hang out.
Okay.
I'll retroactively make it this afterwards.
Let's get the business done. Tell us about your books.
Ooh, we're going straight to business?
Straight to biz.
Okay. We're going to start with the Big Beauty. This
That's
is our
Rusty's nickname.
Ta-da!
Big Beauty, yeah, BB. The new DD BB.
Yeah.
So our latest anthology, Being, is out for SPX.
Issue number 9.
Issue number 9. It's the latest of our series of all-girl comic anthologies.
Successfully kickstarted. And we've now printed it. And we're starting to give it out to people. And we've premiered it this weekend. I can't believe it's its birthday. It's born.
very exciting.
It
Born
is its
this
birthday.
weekend. We're so proud. This issue is really exciting for us because Being was such a broad theme, and we were really trying to push the girls to come up with just wild stuff, and they really, really came back with things we didn't even think to ask for.
Was there an archetypal story that you had in mind? If you told somebody Being, you would expect them to do a certain kind of story? Was there an idea of what you thought would
I
happen?
think we were imagining there would be things about what is your purpose in life? What drives you? Or what is something that is a space that makes you feel comfortable? And we got a little bit of that, but then more than anything, it was just all so unexpected.
Is there one that is the furthest from what your expectation was?
Oh my God.
I know we were just discussing this off camera, but the surgery one, our friend Olivia coming and talking about needing this jaw surgery and all of the prep she did, and then going through the surgery and then living after the surgery. It's I didn't even know this was
because it ends up being about not being able to physically recognize your own face because there's been a transformation.
Yeah, I asked her if it was one of those good jaw surgeries. Turns out it wasn't.
Yeah, no.
It was a challenge.
Those are hard to come by.
Yeah, she has a whole description of it where she said they had to peel her skin off like an orange.
Yeah, she had mentioned they folded her face.
Yeah,
folded
second
her
time
face
today I've had
off.
to hear this.
Isn't that
And put
crazy?
it
I
back.
don't like it anymore the second
So
time.
yeah, we did not expect that.
No.
But the way that everyone talks about these experiences and how they have to view the world in these new ways is just fascinating. And they're all so artful and thoughtful about how they communicate these things.
It's really heartfelt, it's really honest, it's really open, and it's a really, I think, great representation of what it's like to be alive and creating today.
Did you was the experience of editing volume 9 of the series different than, say, volume 8? Was there something that you've come upon nine volumes in?
I think we've really gotten it down. We have such a good process of just keeping track of everybody with their work, sort of understanding how to tease out the best that the comic can be. I think we've gotten really good at refining the type of feedback that we give and knowing where to push people, where to let them fly. So I think we're just great at what we do.
Right.
So yeah.
You started out great and you got greater.
Yes.
By now.
I mean,
We only
every year is an incremental increase in greatness.
You always learn a way that you screwed something up and then you don't do it the next year. You screw something else up, but you're just man, at least this part got a little easier.
got
Oh,
this
so what'd you
down,
screw up
though.
this time?
Actually, I realized what the mistake was in this book before I even got it because it came to me in a dream.
Whoa.
I had all of the contributors proofread the table of contents. So I was proofreading the book myself, and I kept being oh, I had them read this. I don't need to look at this that deeply. I forgot to put my comic title in it. So it just says XXXXX, because I was that'll be a good visual cue for me to remember to edit this.
Yeah.
So I didn't. So that's it.
So everybody else
now the name of my comic
very
is
successfully made sure
XXXXX.
theirs was okay.
Yes, everyone else is great. The rest of the book is perfect.
I was about to say we did a hard review, and I will admit I didn't even read
look
yours because
I
was
had
it's
60
fine,
people
she's got
review it, and I was obviously we caught everything except.
And then everybody else was that's an interesting title.
Yes,
Wow.
But
and then they'll go
always-
read it and be like, "Ooh, what's
There's
this other
always going
title
to
on the
be
comic?"
one thing. So it's like to find it. And it's just like, oh, there it is. Okay,
It's nice
actually,
to put
it's
an
manageable.
Easter egg in
Right.
there.
Easter egg. Yeah,
This one's more
purposeful.
subtle than when I printed the wrong volume number on the spine of one of the books. So if you have them, go find that.
Yeah.
Find that horrible error that I made.
It
Check your
exists.
shelves.
It's out there.
It's a collector's item now.
It's an Easter egg.
Oh,
to find.
right. That poor collector is like, man, I love these books that are wrong.
It's great because I had a stack of them sitting like this when I was giving a talk at one of my friend's classes, and I just was sort of like idly staring at them while I was talking, and mid-sentence I noticed the number was wrong, and I just was like, I printed 1,000 of these.
I go.
That's just there forever now.
How did that feel?
It was kind of hilarious, where it's just like, well, this is so out of my control, and this book came out like a year ago. But I love that it took me that long to notice it.
That's amazing.
And very
nobody
few
else said
people have
anything
brought
either.
it up. Very few. But when they do, I'm just like, oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And
yes,
now
I
it's-
know.
And now it's the first thing she does to every new file.
I like send her a video of me changing that number on the spine of the book. I'm like, never again.
Nope.
But then
We're better than this now.
I don't update my comic title.
And the last thing you do is check your capable contents page.
Now it will
Now.
be.
Yeah.
And then I'll forget something else.
What I like to think happened was everybody just looked at their one line. No, my name's
Yeah.
right, my story's right, I'm good to go.
Yep.
I wouldn't question it.
No.
I'd be like, yeah, that's a cool
Who
title.
am I to tell her that's not her title?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she runs this shit. She knows what
Yeah.
she's doing.
There's
Obviously.
something I think really beautiful in the irony way of, because her comic is about focusing and is about like finding your focus in like when your mind is like going 40 different places at once. So I kind of love that her comic title is XXXXX because she couldn't focus enough to be able to make sure her comic title like
So now
got
you can just
updated.
own it.
It's
and
very
make it
authentic,
meta.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you
purposeful.
Really, you earned that karma.
Yeah.
It's
I
good.
did that to me.
Yeah.
You inflicted that upon
Yeah.
yourself.
That's
All
me.
of my own problems are self-made.
That's a nice strength.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, think about
I have so much agency that I am the
That's what
source
I'm-
of all my struggle.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I honestly think you're probably, I don't know, lying. But the thing is, if that were true, you control everything.
Yeah.
As someone who's sat next to her for over a decade, it's actually just true.
So
she
everything-
does control everything.
Everything else is a buttered slide. It goes easy. And
As
then,
long as KP's in charge, that's all there is to it. Like, you just let it roll out, and then it all works.
right. But
Except for all the fuck-ups
well,
I
that's what I'm
make.
saying.
But if you're doing those purposely, like, to not have that perfect track record, because, you know.
It's a subconscious thing.
Yeah.
You need to give yourself room to grow.
Kelly, are you
obviously.
afraid
Yeah.
of perfection?
Why gotta go there?
I mean, this is where we've arrived. I didn't go there. We have arrived.
I'm not comfortable.
Too
having this
real.
conversation.
SPX 2018.
Yeah.
It's a weird
Yes.
years.
Yes is the answer.
Yes.
Oh,
'Cause
man.
then what else do you do?
You-
You just gotta like light it on fire and move on.
You keep being perfect. Ask Rusty. It's what he does every day.
Oh, yeah. It
Consistency
gets boring now.
is key.
Well, you're gonna write
Yeah.
your book about it, and then you'll forget to change something, and then you have to print edition 2.
Yes. It's going to be called Irony. That's the name of the book.
Everything will
you'll
be
trade
perfect,
rocks for it.
But one thing, trade rocks.
I mean, he'll trade rocks just because he's trying to make a hovel. He's just trying to make a home for
Rusty
himself.
does
Yeah.
love rocks.
Oh.
People should just bring Rusty rocks.
Yeah.
He puts it in a box labeled Rusty's Rocks,
Yes.
and
And
I
now it
want
is
this
a
collection to
big box.
grow.
So, yeah.
What's your favorite rock, Rusty?
I'm going to say geodes.
Oh,
It's
do
a
you have a
solid choice.
particular geode?
A shade, perhaps.
I'll say turquoise.
Oh, yeah.
How many do you have like that?
7.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
You can tell.
You're a happy boy.
Yeah.
Do you get those like smash them open yourself geode kits?
So
Yeah,
I
that's too
own
much
an unsmashed set that I keep saving for fun time.
A
I
smashing
almost
time?
brought them here, but I didn't know how that would go over on video.
Messy, very messy.
I feel like I'm learning that like next prom needs to be like prehistoric prom,
Sure.
and
Dinosaur
then we'll
prom.
do
Yeah. Dinosaur
geode
prom.
smashing. Yeah, dino prom.
Why
How
do you
cool would
guys
that be?
just want to keep doing what Rusty wants to do?
And I'm all for
Because
it.
we
yes.
also love space and dinosaurs.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm sick of it.
Because they're smart and they
I've
love
been
cool
around
things.
space and dinosaurs.
There's literally a rocket ship in our hotel room right now.
What do you
Yeah.
What do you want, Joe? What
It's
kind of
not
prom
that.
do you want?
I don't know that I have anything that I care that much about. It's just that Rusty loves space and he loves dinosaurs, and I've just been around it for a very long time.
Yeah, it's
Just
fair.
knows.
It's fair.
and
you
and
just
I,
know.
I'm not saying it's a little loved topic. It's just I'm tired of it. It's just
You're
I
tired
get
of him
it.
being right?
So Rusty likes to read these weird science fiction books, and they will invariably involve science fiction, rockets, space, or dinosaurs. And then one time I pontificated what the book he was reading about, and I guessed it was something along the lines of like Tyrannosaurus Rex George Washington is an astronaut or something along those lines. Because he also would read these books about like alternate histories where Abraham Lincoln was a dinosaur.
I'm so into this.
There was a
This
legit
sounds
series
amazing.
with like dinosaur scientists, and there's like Dinosaur Galileo with a.
Isn't there a series of like romance novels that are about like dinosaur people
That sounds
interacting
familiar.
in the real world?
There-
I'm almost positive this exists.
There's definitely
think
one
so.
about horse people.
There's definitely a
We
dinosaur one.
accidentally
'Cause it's
found one about
called-
like what were they?
Werebears.
I've seen,
Yeah.
yep. There's
Accidentally.
also
It's a
one
romance
about
novel.
where
Yeah.
sharks that exists
Really?
as well. Yeah.
I don't like that.
That's
What if you're not
weird.
near water when you transform?
Rusty's mom has enjoyed a book or two about Amish romance.
Dude, it's
Yes.
like a thing. So
It's
like,
such a thing.
like
It's so
my
forbidden.
family is from Lancaster, and anytime we go out there, you go to like, a corner store and you go buy your whoopie pies and your shoe fly pie, and it's like there's a rack of like Amish
Like,
romance.
there's
This
a
brings a
like-
whole new meaning to whoopie pie.
Oh, yeah, except that's not happening unless they're real married, and then it's only through a hole in the sheet.
Yeah.
Scandalous romance novel.
No, they're not scandalous. It's just about love.
There's
There's
like-
no
there's like the
scandal.
least scandalous romance
Amish
novels, yeah.
romance.
That's-
So
comic.
yeah, there
That's
is
your
a
move.
bookstore in Lancaster that we went to that had an entire section devoted to Amish romance.
Yeah.
So wholesome.
I love
It
niche
is.
romance novels. It's so like it's this beautiful jazz because it's like everyone wants to read these love stories, but everyone wants the love story that like falls into like their
gotta scratch that itch.
particular
Yes.
like niche spot, and then the internet provides.
Yes.
You can have all of these things.
That is the
Well, like-
original function of fan fiction.
The other thing that my mom will read are like these mystery novels that are based around food.
What?
So this one series,
Tell me much more.
it's this female like Angela Lansbury type investigator.
Okay.
And-
Not the character she's played on Murder, She Wrote. The actress Angela
the
Lansbury.
actress.
Angela
I knew
Angela
what
Lansbury.
you were
Lansbury,
doing.
yeah.
I was imagining a female Poirot personally.
And they all have like food pun titles, and they're based around like bakeries.
What are
and
they like
cooking and stuff.
researching? Like people getting murdered in bakeries, or
Pretty much, yeah.
like baked goods going missing?
Like it'll be
guys?
like murder mysteries and things like that. But yeah, that'll happen
All
in a
set.
bakery.
around food things. Amazing. Of course it exists. Of
Yeah.
course that exists.
Love it.
I'm not shocked at all.
No.
What other kind of books we got on this table?
Oh yeah, what do we got here?
So I brought the new mini I put together called Basic Witch. It's an altar ritual. So I did a documentation of an altar ritual that my friends and I will do together, and it comes with a story. So there's a prologue, which is we got an Airbnb for my one friend's birthday, probably about a year ago. And we went and we, did our altar ritual, lit some candles, had a fire. It was great. On the way out, a tree had fallen down over the course of the night and was lying like halfway through the road. We had to like drive around this like huge tree that had fallen. And we were like, oh, damn, that's crazy. So this 4th of July, we got an Airbnb in the woods because we wanted to get away from it. Philly was just oppressively hot. And we were like, I need to go be in the woods and be somewhere away from all this baked concrete. So we get there, and the first night we like light a candle, we do some prayers, we have a fire, we hang out, it's great. And then the next morning we get up and we decide we're gonna go for a hike. So we pack up our little backpacks and we leave for this hike, and as we're leaving for the hike, we hear this weird sound. It sounds like somebody splitting wood, but it's like got this cracking, popping sound, and it was like, that's an odd sound. Okay, whatever. So we're walking probably about half an hour more, and then we hear a tree fall. Like we're probably, about half a mile away from it. And I've seen a tree fall down before on a camping trip, so I knew what the sound was, but we heard it and we were like, what is that? I was like, oh, that was a tree falling down. So I then get a phone call from our Airbnb host, and she calls me and she said, oh my gosh, where are you girls? Are you guys okay? And we're like, we're out hiking. Yeah, we're fine. Is everything all right? The tree had fallen down into the front yard of the Airbnb we were staying in, taking down all of the power lines along with it.
Holy crap.
So the whole house has no electricity, and the house is on a water pump, so there's no water either. And they're essentially like, it's the 4th of July. Pico might show up, maybe. What they did was they went to the neighbors. The neighbors had a generator. They plugged in our refrigerator, and they had a hose at the end of the driveway, and they were essentially like, I don't know what to tell you guys, and we were like, you know what? We're just gonna hang out. Like, we were gonna basically be glamping in your backyard anyway, and now we're just officially camping,
Regular camping
in your backyard. But we had a great time. We lit fires, we had candles, we burned incense, we had twinkle lights, we popped a tent in the backyard. Like, it was great. And we basically spent the whole night, like, their house is kind of like up on this hill a little bit, sitting up on this hill and watching all of the Pico workers like arrive in various trucks and stand around this tree and then remove all the lines and then cut all the wood and haul it all away. It was just like, and then I'm standing out in the backyard, and we had a bunch of glow sticks that we had like put all over the yard, and I'm standing there and I'm like, okay, we're gonna go to bed. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. We're gonna get in this tent, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna leave the screen door unzipped because I want to be able to appreciate the light show. And the minute the word light show comes out of my mouth, all of the electricity clicks on in the house. Like, the whole block lights up.
That's a very long prologue.
You do not know the
No,
power
the
you wield.
prologue. No, the prologue. Oh my God, really? Thank you. I'm so glad you paid attention to that. Really?
I listened to the whole thing.
Yes, you did. Oh, good job.
So I must ask, how does that tie into your book?
So, well, we do this ritual. So I'm sharing this ritual with you that may or may not have successfully felled 2 trees at this point.
Wow. So it sounds destructive.
I think it's just powerful.
So if we know anybody in the woods and we want their house to get fucked up,
I like
do
that
that.
you take it from a violence angle, like a
Well, here's what I've heard
punishment.
so far. I heard
yeah,
one tree
totally aggressive.
that was in your way and you had to avoid it.
Yep.
Or else you would have struck it, possibly got hurt.
Yep.
The other tree took away your water and your electricity and may have harmed you if you were in the yard where it was.
But we weren't there.
You were not. That's
Yeah.
right. And I just see, all I see is danger. I just see Final Destination everywhere.
Yeah.
But it could also be that because you did these rituals, you guys protected yourselves.
Right.
And these trees were going to fall
They were
no
gonna
matter
fall.
what.
That's-
You just have bad luck,
That's an interesting
but good witchcraft.
perspective.
Bad
That'll
luck,
work for
good
me, too.
witchcraft.
Yeah.
That's
So I like
good.
that your perspective was like, thank you for keeping us safe, and mine was like, how
Yeah,
can we
these are
kill people?
Pazzi's
Yeah.
rituals.
So it's a comic. It's a book about your rituals.
Yeah, it's basically a step-by-step of like, this is the steps you take to do this ritual, and it's very basic. It's like lighting candles, and you light some incense, and then you sit with your candle prayers until they go out. But I just wanted to be able to share with everybody, and also I had all this really cool shiny paper, so
Oh, that's a
because
great.
Lord knows that influences the decision as well.
That is nice.
Yeah, right?
I think it's a really neat idea to share something that is kind of central to you and something that you participate in.
Yeah, and I like it as like a spiritual practice because it's like I'm an atheist. I'm raised by atheists. Like I don't have like a spirituality in that way, but it's like I think ritual is incredibly important to humans, and I think it's something humans have always done.
Sure.
And I think to deny that aspect of us is folly, and you're just shutting off a part of yourself that's actually really important. So to have some kind of outlet for it, even in just like this meditative sort of way, I think is really important.
That's great.
Thank you.
I think it's neat that it manifested in a book.
Yeah, and now it's a book.
It's pretty cool.
How about you, KP?
So, KP, what do you have?
I have a book about how I got Phantom of the Opera by Skeletor.
Yeah.
That's my description of the
So
book.
Phantom of the Opera is a
Ta-da,
verb?
there we go.
Say that again?
Phantom of the Opera is a verb in this case?
Yes.
Okay.
It is a verb. So in Philly, there's an event called the Skeletor Karaoke Gong Show.
Is this the prologue or is this the actual
This
story?
is the story.
Oh, okay.
This is the setup that is told in the book.
So is it okay if she criticizes your prologue?
It wasn't a criticism, it was a statement.
Okay.
I will point out there was a shift moment between like the first event and the second event, but apparently not a big enough one.
It's a monthly event where it's karaoke night done gong show style, hosted by Skeletor. So I started going with my friends, and Skeletor and I hit it off because we have a very similar taste in horrible music. And then he proceeded to take me through all of the beats of Phantom of the Opera, and I mapped it to the musical in this book, and it's secretly about friendship.
Not anymore.
I was going to say not so secretly anymore.
Hey,
but that's
you're
all
going to
right.
forget about it because it gets weird. And then you're going to be like, they're friends at the end.
Like, oh,
That sounds really creepy. Is it creepy?
It's like spoopy.
Oh, spoopy.
Right.
It's spoopy.
That's good.
Similar.
Yeah, spoopy's definitely not creepy. That would be creepy.
It's like a fun
Crappy,
creepy,
yeah.
yeah.
Fun creepy. What's spoopy? That's fun creepy, obviously.
I also
So-
made this in like 12 days.
That's
so
what I
it
was going to say. Is you
very
work-
ill-advised.
Yeah.
I'm not good at deadlines and pacing myself.
No, it
So-
sounds like you are good at deadlines.
I'm good at negotiating with deadlines.
Okay.
So just for full clarification for the people at home, how many pages is this and how long did it
It's
take you?
48 pages. I did it in 12 days.
It's insane.
So
It was
does
dumb.
Does
It's
this
not
mean
good.
that, in a month you could do 96 pages?
No, because that's too much time. I can't have that much time.
Could you do 96 pages in 12 days?
No.
Okay.
I think I could do 48 pages in 12 days.
All right.
So if it was 52, you're out of luck.
I probably would have, like, my hand would have exploded.
Really?
Yeah, it was close. You get, like, the little pangs every now and then.
Sure.
Well, you also have to take into context, she's coming off of, like, we did a Kickstarter for a month, and then where we have to do, like, everything, and she
Yeah.
does all of our graphics and all of our, like, cool gifts and things like that. And then she had to do the book, 'cause she does the layout for the book, and then she had to do her comic for the book. And then once that was all in the printers, she then put together another almost 50-page book. It's some rock star shit, dude.
Yes.
And then I'm going to go to bed.
Yeah.
Right now?
I would love to. Sitting down at this table right now feels amazing. I can, like, my blood has finally stopped pooling in my feet.
Yeah, that's how we got our spot here is through medical advice.
Yeah.
All of the cartoonists need to sit at some
Yeah.
point, and they'll come see Joe and Rusty, and they'll have their
This
sit.
is like a health trap. You don't
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
it, but there's going to be some vitamins going through your air. Your
I'm, like, getting
airways.
vitamin D now from the sun.
Yeah. This is our interview/wellness area. That's what we do.
It does feel like a wellness area.
So
I feel safe and well cared for here.
last night you guys also threw the prom.
We threw
did.
Space Prom.
Space Prom forever.
It was such a rager.
This was the hardest prom that I've ever seen party. Like, they partied so hard.
And it went a full hour longer than usual.
Yeah.
Oh,
had
yeah.
And they partied hard till the last song.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And then we had to kick people out to be like, no, we have to deflate all the astronauts.
Yes.
Your DJ was angry.
Yeah, she could have gone on forever.
Yeah.
Kat would have just
Kat
slayed.
Fajardo is the most rock star DJ, along with
Although-
Ivan from Comicsology.
Ivan was incredible too.
Yes, they
we had a
killed it.
really good prom team this year too.
Yeah.
Like, I think because it was
We had to fill the void that Tony Breed left because he couldn't come this year, and I think everyone really rose to the occasion.
Yes. Those are big shoes to fill for Tony, but yes, he was missed. But they killed
very
it.
much
Tony,
so.
can this just be like a Love Tony graphic insert right here?
Love for Tony.
I like how she's suggesting a graphic and you just threw a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Sure, bud.
Yeah.
Good job.
That's my picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A thumbs up.
The thumbs up
I want it to be that picture of Rusty just floating in on top of us.
in front of myself making that post.
I'm just thinking about post, okay?
Yeah,
good,
totally.
yeah.
Now the night before that, we hosted karaoke.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you guys,
Did.
you sang a lot there.
That's why I sound
Yeah.
like this.
That's why you sound.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
I
were
also
a
came
little
here
hoarse
sounding like this.
before,
and
yeah.
I mean, at the
coming off
prom,
of a rough,
You talk loud. You have to talk loud at the prom, so you
Yeah.
exacerbate.
It's been a
things
rough
there.
speaking month for me.
We also have to talk loud in the room. Like, if you're talking to anybody on the floor, it's just like you kind of have to project, but it's sort of, but you don't want to be like shouting in their face.
Right.
So it's like I have to be loud, but I can't be like screaming at you.
Yeah, and then I'm doing another show next weekend in Denver, and I'm like, this is gonna just be great. I'm gonna sound like this for 2 months.
Yes.
Man,
Progressively.
Yeah,
more and more.
yeah,
you're gonna do irreparable damage to your vocal cords.
yeah. I'm pretty sure, but I can write it off now. It's a comics expense.
Hell yes.
There you go. I think that's how it works.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah.
the law works in America.
How did you make comics? By talking.
We're
lot.
working.
Yeah, I know.
A little whiskey, a little honey, a little rest. You'll be fine.
I know. Just need a toddy.
Yeah. See, you're gonna be right as rain. We're getting into toddy season.
I'm gonna heal just in time to get on my flight, and then
destroy everything all over
I won't
again.
be able to talk to anyone about Weird Al.
You have to take the frontman process, which is once the show is over, you don't speak. Like, there's no speaking.
I mean, that's
the minute you come off the stage.
a great idea, but in practice,
I've
impossible.
had people like do that, and it's really funny because you'll go kind of like, be like, oh, blah blah blah, love the show, and they're just like,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, okay, cool, sounds great, guys.
Now, were they just blowing you off?
No, they like allowed to talk.
Oh.
It's like, especially when you're like really abusing your vocal cords, like you're doing like punk or you're doing something that's like slightly outside of your range, and like it's not like punk kids are trained vocalists, you know? So it's like in order to be able to do a show the next night or in 2 nights or whatever, they have to just like immediately go into complete repair mode.
I was looking up like specialty lozenges that are made out of like bee sweat or something, and I was like, or like bee poop. And I'm just like, this is a dark Google search.
Do you mean honey?
No, it's like a special thing. I would know if it's honey, which is not bee sweat or bee poop.
Okay, A, I'm really like bee sweat. Like,
It's some weird bee extract.
Other than
It has a
honey.
very specific name that I
other
can't
than
think of
honey.
right now.
Yes.
It's not honey.
Well, I mean,
It's
honey is
not
pretty
wax.
specific.
Something else coming out
It's
of
something
the bee.
else. It's crushed bee eyes.
It's something from a bee that's
don't
apparently great for your vocal
How
cords.
many
Yes.
tiny bee eyes would you have to have?
I don't know if you guys have considered this, but your next issue of Dirty Diamonds is number 10.
It is.
Whoa.
Oh, yes.
What are you going to do?
We've got some ideas.
It's going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
We're going to do a slightly longer time frame than we have before so that we can really let this one marinate. But it's going to be good. It's going to be very good. But yes, we have big plans.
You're going to make the book bigger?
It's going to be 6 feet wide.
Nice. Yeah.
I like that.
Finally, a book for me.
Oh my
Yes.
God, we should just get it printed as like posters, and then we'll just like pin it to a wall as one successive line, and everyone will have to like walk down it in order to be able
People
to
will
read
have to
it.
That's
read
gonna be
them
our
on those
proofing
poster
process.
displays.
Yes.
Those poster displays you see in the store, we have to turn the big pages.
I want to do a big
Oh.
trifold presentation.
Right.
Oh my God, we're gonna do it like science fair style, just like trifold after trifold after trifold.
Yeah, number 10 is going to be a big one.
This
so
is rock solid brainstorming right now.
Yeah. It's really good.
Early next year should be the open call.
Yeah, and like everybody should submit. We're gonna do a really long open call period, so it's like I want every girl in the pool for this one.
I
Every
promise I'll
comic
finally
artist.
get it together and submit, guys. I've been putting it off.
I know.
Putting it off.
Josephina, you're going to do this.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'll do. I figured everybody would really appreciate that type of action.
Oh yeah, you'll be very well liked for that.
Oh,
yeah.
gosh, yes. So I think it's that time. Are you ready to answer mystery questions?
I'd love to answer some
Yes.
questions.
Oh, thank you.
Dun-dun-dun.
The table.
It hasn't happened yet, and I think it's
No,
probably
we've come
bound
close
to.
a few times, but I got one whole wheel off.
Wow.
Yeah,
How'd you save it?
just held it.
Just strength?
I like that
strength.
every year it gets a little easier to open the ball
You're
pod.
training over the
yeah,
time,
yeah.
yes.
It's like I know what's going on.
That's another part of our plan.
It's part of the wellness center here.
Go for it.
What's your question,
Mine
Kelly?
is, if your life was a video game, what would your special move be?
Oh man.
So I'm going to brag. I am a Smash Brothers prodigy. I'm really good at Smash Brothers. It agitates all of my friends, especially when I'm like drunk on the couch, barely awake and still beating them. I'm just really good. And Princess Peach is my top bitch. So I feel like I always get a kick out of doing her little like hip check move, which shoots little hearts out, and she just goes like hoop cha, and it's very emasculating. And I think I just really connect with her on that hip check because it's sassy, it's cute, and it makes people mad that it's effective. So I'm gonna go with Peach's hip check.
So she's your top bitch. Do you have a list of top bitches?
I have so many top bitches.
Yeah.
I love so many bitches.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just, at some point, I'd like to know what the top 5 are. Peach is number 1. We know that.
Peach is up there. She's
Yeah.
up there.
Are these video game bitches or?
I don't know. She's the
There's
one-
several categories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the ranking system works.
Yeah.
That's all I want to know about.
I'm also really into Daisy from the new Mario Tennis right now because she just screams like a crazy person when she does her special move, and I really like her energy.
Oh,
And she's going to be in the new Smash Brothers, which I'm really excited about.
I'm
Shout
glad
out
you're
to
excited. Yeah, shout out to Daisy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daisy. The brunette one. They needed a brunette
I
one.
needed a brunette one.
Claire, what's your question?
Pickles, yay or nay?
Mm.
And I'm gonna go a solid yay now. But if you had asked me that a decade ago, I would have been a very solid nay. But I had a friend on St. Patrick's Day forced me to eat a pickle because it was green on St. Patrick's Day. And it was delicious, and I was wrong the whole time.
Wow.
Do you think the proliferation of fried pickles has helped to alter your opinion also?
So I'm going to shock you here with I don't really care for fried pickles.
Well, it's just more fried pickles for me.
Yeah. I like my pickles to be cold. Like fried pickles when they're like it's hot is like I don't like the vinegary hot. It's like I want it to be cold.
It's
Makes
okay.
sense.
You can be wrong.
I know you've gotten very
But then
used
there's
to
also
that.
picklebacks,
Also good.
which
Yeah.
are magic.
Have you expanded now into like artisanal pickles?
Oh
or-
yeah. Like
I need to get you my friend's pickles.
Yes. I have a friend who does like pickled, like he'll do carrots and green beans, and those are excellent.
Pickled green beans are unbelievable.
Pickled beets,
You
fabulous.
can pickle anything.
You can pickle garlic. It's delicious.
Pickles are also one of those things that like all cultures do pickling.
Well, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a brine and suspension until
It's just woody a pickle.
until osmosis takes over and all the water's gone. It's great. And then it's preserved and it sits for long periods of time.
I'm a person that kind of take or leave pickles. Sometimes I think they're great. Sometimes I just don't want them. But I think the question came about because of Rusty's disdain for
Yeah.
pickles.
You don't do pickles.
I generally hate pickles.
Really?
Do you like fried pickles?
Kind of. And that's more just because the breading and
'Cause
grease
it's
And the
fried.
sauce is always
cover up
delicious.
the pickleness. Like I think I'd even posted something a while back, and it was like, yeah, fuck pickles. And I think
How
it might
much
have
contention came because of that?
been, it might have been Eden. It was like kimchi is pickled technically, and I was like, yeah, but it's gross. So you know what?
Wow.
Yeah,
So-
Rusty has a
So-
bunch of hot takes.
That is
So
my hot
if you
pickle
don't
take.
do a pickle with a sandwich, what is your sandwich accompaniment then? Do you do like coleslaw?
See, I'm also not,
do you do
like-
potato salad?
I don't think like a pickle
Potato
needs to
salad.
come with a
Okay.
sandwich.
Yeah, see-
Coleslaw, depending on the sauce that they use, I can take or leave coleslaw. It's okay.
I'd like a vinegary coleslaw over a mayo-y coleslaw, so it's like that's a tough toss-up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love creamy coleslaw.
yeah, so I'm
Love
with that.
it.
I'm in the creamy coleslaw.
I'll like take creamy anything. Just
Yeah.
like just enhances it no matter what all the time.
My mom makes a barbecue slaw, and it's like amazing. She puts like little picante peppers in there, and like vinegar and barbecue, and it's both like slawy and tangy and spicy and a little brown sugary sweet. It's so good. It's so good.
Like
And
I just had a kale apple slaw the other day.
oh, I'd eat that. I'd eat
So
that
good.
so hard.
So
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Was it
Put some-
pickled?
Put some sliced almonds on that.
Yeah.
I did not have any kale applesauce, so I can't really speak to it.
Ah,
okay.
Sorry, guys.
It's a
Well,
bummer.
I got nothing.
you got nothing.
Well, this is something to work for next year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll put it on my list.
Yeah.
We can up your slaw repertoire.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's where I'm slacking. I've checked the metrics, and my slaw column is just way behind where it should be.
It's just sad.
Yeah.
It's okay. 2019 is coming.
Yeah.
We're all
Could be
going to
the
be
year of the
there
slaw.
together.
Here's the slaw.
That can be your Dirty Diamonds Volume 10 story submission.
There's gonna be a lot of coleslaw with issue 10.
Joe's slaw journey.
Oh, damn.
The long slog.
Oh, I don't understand. That's just the long,
Sorry that I spoke funny there.
long slog. Yeah,
Wasn't
I
a
get
joke.
it.
I just
It's just
misspoke.
it's just
It
a
was
long
just-
journey. I get
Please
it.
don't make fun. That's just the way she speaks.
Yeah.
More successful brainstorming.
Yeah, man, we're killing it here. We're
Extraordinary.
gonna break
This is an
this
idea
up.
factory.
Oh man, the best.
The best.
We're getting all the bad ideas out.
Get them out.
Just work them out.
That's how the creative process works.
That's
You
it.
guys got anything else you want to talk about?
How great you two are. And how fabulous you both looked at prom.
Thank you
Oh,
very
thanks.
Dude, talking to you in your like light up sweater last night was really surreal because I'd stand there and then you'd start like flashing in my
Yeah.
face and I'm like, no, I'm talking to Joe, and it would be like,
much. No, like,
I
so,
could
like, but
I could see it in your glasses, and it would make me laugh
at
because
one-
I would
at
just
one
see
point,
basically I'd see my effect on others.
yes.
He was facing away and he was talking to MDT, and I just happened to notice that MDT had a strobe light on him, and I'm like, what
and
is
MVP's
that?
wearing that like silver
Yes.
jacket, which he just like gave to a volunteer.
He gifted it. He's an
Gave it
angel.
away.
Yes, he just was
He
like,
passed it on.
I want MDT's clothes
I know.
Wow.
I just
specifically
want to
his.
hang out with MDT all the time. I want an MDT accompaniment.
I think I threatened to shrink him down to a 6-inch man so he could
If
live
you're
in my
not sure, I
pocket.
can confirm.
And then I think I think you
That did
made me
happen.
tell him, and then I did, and he was like, "Oh, that's fine."
Well, what happened was we were trying to figure out a way to get him to Toronto.
Yes.
And you said, I just want to shrink him down and put him in my pocket. And I mentioned that it might give you trouble at the border.
Yeah.
And then he heard his name. And so he looked over like, well, what is it? Do you guys need something or whatever? And then you had to tell him.
And then I told him, and he was like, "Oh, fine,
Yeah.
fine. We'll traffic. It's great."
I mean, that's a
It's
human
with consent.
being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not when he's that small.
What is he then?
Well, we were trying to figure out, like, when do you cease to be a man? Like,
Right.
what size are you?
By law.
I was like, when you're 6 inches tall, you might not.
No, you're still a man. I think you have to be over 18 to be a man.
Listen, we're trying to find
and
loopholes.
identify as masculine, and then that's it. I think that's
We're trying to dehumanize him so I can smuggle him across the border.
Why would you take the humanity out of MDT?
Because you can bring it back.
Oh.
because
give him a
otherwise
pill
she's
and he gets
trafficking
big
a human
again.
being. And that's a felony.
Is it a pill or is it the other side of the mushroom?
It might be a shot.
It might be a
Or a mist.
Or mist.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what we learned earlier?
Ah.
We learned that if you rub a mushroom and it changes color, it's poisonous.
That was fascinating. And we learned that before the show.
Is
even
that
opened
like
today.
all poisonous mushrooms do that?
I'm
or
gonna
only poisonous mushrooms do
I'm gonna
that?
say I don't know whether we can believe it.
Yeah.
But we were talking to a woman in the throes. It's a little dramatic. The throes of helping a friend whose child ate a mushroom to figure out whether this kid was,
Is this kid gonna die?
And then she was passing along the wisdom of, if you rub the mushroom and it changes color.
I've also never rubbed a mushroom.
Nope.
No.
I feel like that's when they kind of like start to flake in your hands.
How? I feel like this is knowledge I should have had before now. Like, if
Yeah.
this is true.
If it is,
would have
exactly, if
come
it's
up.
that easy, you'd think it would be
Yeah.
common knowledge.
Exactly. It's like, oh,
So
That's how I don't
And
die.
then
this
the
is
kid-
how you know the dishes are clean. This is how you know that a mushroom isn't poisonous.
and then we found out the kid died. So
No, what? Are you serious?
oh.
Oh, good.
It's like you would
I'm sorry.
no, that would be fucked up.
Because actually,
Oh.
yeah, the conversation actually took a dark turn earlier too. Because then it was like, it's a weird conversation.
The
to have at a comic
conversation
show, and it was
took
like,
such
well,
a
let's make a
dark
mini
turn,
comic about it.
Rusty.
Yeah.
You don't realize how dark the turn it took, because I could tell you did not pick up on something, and you skidded right past it. It was so dark. I won't bring it up here.
Okay, that's good.
Oh,
We'll talk about it
excellent.
Yeah.
offline.
Yeah, it's
Patio talk.
Joe and Rusty After Dark.
Yeah.
When we're telling horror stories on the patio later, we can talk about this mushroom event.
Yeah, but basically, Rusty was joking about a child dying, and then he turned it into a cohort of childhood
Oh,
dying.
personal anecdote. Yeah.
Yeah, and none of that happened that I know of.
The childhood thing about the kid, he didn't die.
Oh, that's right. There was a kid
Are
who
there
ate a mushroom.
still things left that you don't know about Rusty?
This is before I met him, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's impressive.
Some childhood friend of his ate a mushroom, and oh
I
no,
kind of
is he
saved
gonna
those little
die?
gifts.
Yeah.
Every
You
here and
like
there.
pepper them in as
Look,
necessary.
Like, surprise, buddy, I got a mushroom story for
In
you.
the in the yawning hours before we render ourselves unconscious, we have to talk about something.
right.
In the minutes that we drive home, we have to talk about something. And hot goss only gets you so far.
Yep.
So you got to leave these little pockets, Like, oh, by the way, did you know that I almost killed this child? I mean, because you gave him the mushroom, right?
I did not give him the mushroom.
Oh.
I was just here when he ate a mushroom in the wild, and I did not.
Why didn't you stop him?
That sound you sound complicit.
Because sometimes kids have to learn.
It's true. You gotta let him
lesson.
touch the stove.
So you
Yeah.
withheld safety from him.
Yes.
Kids, man. That was
Rusty
put
rubbed
anything
the
in
mushroom
their
and he
mouth.
was like, "Oh, it checks out."
Yeah,
Basically,
Rusty.
he'd eaten the mushroom and they weren't sure if it was poisonous.
I remember
and
when-
so my mom was like, okay, we just got to look this up, call poison control. But the kid's mom was freaking out. She's like, is he going to die? And the kid's like, I don't want to die.
You should make a child force their mortality at some point. Like before the age of
Yeah.
9, you should have some life or death event.
Well, if I have a kid, they're going to have an illness, and they're going to have to deal with the consequences of that illness early on. So they appreciate every day.
So
Oh
it's
my
not
God.
just falling off the swing and getting the breath knocked
No,
out of you.
I'm
it's,
trying to-
It's like
I want to.
deep-seated.
I want to give them the illness.
Like you want to give them like scarlet fever.
I got to give them that chemia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to get it to them.
Ooh, the chemia.
Yeah, got to give them that chemia, and then because we can fix that.
We can fix
Oh, yeah,
that.
yeah.
We can fix that.
Gotta work on it.
You'll give them a curable one, but
Guess what,
Yeah,
Junior?
mild one.
You got chemia.
you got the cheme.
Look it up on the internet, because the internet's everywhere now.
Yep.
And
So
then they
go
learn-
ahead.
they learn
Take
how
the
to
He's gonna be
Can he
misspelling
read
it
at
into
this
Google.
point?
Here's the parental
This is
lock
how they
code.
learn.
Look it up.
This is how they learn to read.
How do I
Reading
spell
up on
leukemia?
their
And you're
medical
like,
condition.
well, I guess you're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
I remember.
I love
remember-
this sink or swim parenting way. You're like, just float. God damn it.
Yeah. Learn how to spell leukemia. Your life depends on it.
So
L-O, you loser.
I remember for years, Rusty and I would joke about if we ever had children, not together, and how you could do anything to these kids. Like you could teach them fake words, and they would just go through the
Make them a
world.
language.
Yeah.
And then you realize how awful that would be. Like as you get older, you're like, wow, that really sets.
And
a kid
then we
back.
end up with incels.
Yeah.
That's how that happens.
That's
No,
it.
that's exactly
They're
how that
told
happens.
stupid things about
Yeah.
the world and they believe it
There
for
was-
too long.
This really great story I read about this family who had gone out into the Russian wilderness somewhere right after World War I had ended, and they had like
I
they
read about this.
right,
Yeah.
and they didn't know World War II had happened, so they just like people were out exploring, and they just like came upon this family, and they had children while like living out in the wilderness, and the children didn't speak a language, but they could communicate with each other. Like they talked, but they didn't speak Russian, which is just like, I love that like humans will come to the capacity for language, but like it won't be.
It's like twin language.
I
Yeah.
was just thinking that creepy
Yeah.
twins. Yeah. Earlier on, I wanted to mention that you said Rusty rubbed his mushroom, and I thought I was going to make a joke about HR coming to us, talk to us at work, because Rusty rubbing the mushroom.
Yeah.
Well,
And
that
then-
has to
then
be
time moved
outside.
on.
That's not during working hours.
Oh no, it was. It was during a conference call.
Yeah.
He gets fidgety, you
I
know.
was on a video conference call too.
Yeah, that was the
Oh,
worst.
you just need a fidget cube, Rusty.
all
There's
it
there's a thing on the internet that will solve this problem for you.
There's a thing on the internet that solves everyone's problems.
Yeah, that's what the internet is for.
That's what
Speaking
solved
of
my
the
leukemia
internet, where
problem.
can people find your work online?
What an amazing
Yeah.
segue. Dirty Diamonds is at dirtydiamonds.net. On Twitter and Instagram, we're Dirty Diamonds Yo. On Tumblr and Facebook, we're Dirty Diamonds Comic. I'm at Kelly P Comics everywhere, and my website is KellyPhillips.net.
Just Google Claire Folkman, I come up. Don't worry about it.
Smart. I like it.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
the first thing. It's awesome.
Yeah, we out here.
Rusty, where can people find out more about you online?
I don't remember the exact URL, but there's a website for people that have had problems in the past with the law.
Okay.
If you Google it, you'll find it.
Mushroom rubbers.
Mushroomrubbers.biz.
It's a good start.
There's the shroom
It won't
rubs.
give you the whole picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
Are you on
find.
a list somewhere?
I'm on every list.
He got added to a list this morning. He told me about it. Yeah, you can find me at Leukemia Lover, and I will
Child leukemia lover.
follow back.
That's the subreddit.
Oh.
Yeah, I follow back everybody. So just hit me up, slide into the DMs, and we'll talk later.
Can't believe
Yeah.
that this is better or worse than last year where we were beating puppies to death.
That's true.
Maybe
It's different. It's just different.
It's
that's
just
all.
different.
It's different, yeah.
Didn't you go by the nickname Leukemia?
Yeah, well, I wanted to be Luke Skywalker. Then I
Right.
found out he was fictional. Then I found out leukemia was real.
Did you think it was a man at first? Like you thought it was leukemia?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
I know. I went as him on career day.
I
But
want this thing. No.
Yeah. no, people were really disappointed in me. Alas,
No.
It happens.
But not anymore.
Well,
you'd be surprised.
yeah.
I would. I'd be mad at them.
So
Yeah.
I guess that's it then.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Thank
you.
Thanks for having us. This
Kisses.
is great.
Yeah, thank you for setting this up for us to interview you.
You're welcome, and
Yeah.
congratulations to your legs having blood again.
Yay!
Yes.
I'm gonna have to stand
Wellness
The,
achieved.
the idea of standing up right now is really depressing.
You don't have to stand up.
I'm gonna lay down under the table.
Yep.
You can continue.
We'll get a
but-
volunteer to bring your books over here. It's fine.
Perfect. That's all we need.
That's what we have.